High cost of accommodation has become a major issue for many Ghanaians, particularly in recent times. Thousands of people who cannot afford sleep in front of stores or even sometimes on the open spaces. The situation seems even worse in some of the public universities in Ghana. At the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, many students fear their academic dreams may hit a snag if the accommodation fees are not reduced. The issue has been affecting students both financially and academically, but nothing tangible appears to be done about it.
It is really affecting me a lot because, like I was saying, transportation hours. I need to travel 1 hour before I get to campus and also 1 hour before I get to the house. So looking at this, it's really affecting me. Even in the morning, especially in the mornings, I always come to class about 5 minutes or 15 late every morning, and traffic and also getting car on time is also a problem.
My fees is around 1,662 and 642. 1,642, and I'm paying hostel fee of 3,200. Which is like twice of my school fees.
Hostel fees no, and it be a school fees no, pay like proportional across and like very equal. Maybe my parents beat me, I the number. But then since hostel fees no, prices no what was running no. Sometimes it move with fever, like, and it's also like affect you because like,
as of last year it was like 1,000 something, just 3 cities on 1,000, but like it was just double this academic year. It was double to 2,000 plus. That is so worrying. That's the whole fee, not even a hostel, and that is controlled by the school. Yes, so if the school itself is even increasing the whole fee, then how more the hostels that is owned by private entities. So sometimes we students, we feel like there is no way we can question this private organizations that owns the hostels, because even the school itself is increasing its fees for the halls, the common halls. And as our parents, not all of us, our parents are well to do. Yeah, some of our parents, they actually suffer, they actually struggle to get some money to pay for it. So when you come to, I have, even my parents, when I told them that our school fees is this and hostel fee is this, they shouted at, are we here to learn or we are here to study? Because the hostel fee is way like double the school fees most of the time. So some of our parents like that, and even some of them, they things like, you are the one that wanted a more comfortability, that's why you went for a very high hostel fee like that. Meanwhile, it's not like that, because I feel like even on campus and off campus, there is no hostel that is less expensive, like less than maybe 2,000 or something like that. You will not get, most of the time it's way above 2,000.
We want to say about affected because you share the financial status of the population of Ghana. We will now any wealth class, and I keep to no middle class. We will be mostly for and because of that, or living arrangements not expensive. A struggle, a big struggle, man.
Many of the students use huge portion of their monies to rent hostels every year at the expense of their tuition fees. Others who cannot afford have no alternative than to drop out of school.
You have to pay for accommodation, even though if you've paid for the school fees and you don't know where to sleep, you can't live in the school. So me, what I did was I paid rent before thinking of the school fees, because we must do the right thing at the right time.
I think last year it was around 2,000, 2,200, 2,500, but this year they added like 700, 800,000 to them. Now the 200 is now 3,000. 2,500 is like, it's now like 3,500. Because of that, even the last year on, we even struggled to pay. We even struggled before we were able to get money to pay that. How more you add an extra 10,000 or 700 to it? I'm sure because of that, even when before we were about to, before school resumed, most of us was complaining about this one. Most of them were saying if they keep on increasing the price of hostels, they're not sure they'll continue schooling.
very difficult for him. So he was saying that if like maybe he lowered his hostel prices, then he would have gotten something to pay for the school fees. But that's even in school here, even outside campus. I'm not even talking, if I want to talk about the on-campus hostels, those ones, they are way expensive, and it's very difficult to even get. You have to get, maybe, let me put in quotes, some protocols before you can get. For him, this year he has to move to a less improved hostel, a hostel that is not that conducive, just to save costs, to also pay for the school fees, because it's very high. So someone like him right now, last year, even because some of us came through for him, we will have to gather some small money from some other places, he would have dropped out, or he wouldn't have written the exam last year.
The situation, according to the students, is taking a serious toll on their education. Hence, government should intervene to help them realize their dreams.
I would suggest that the government should come and make collaboration with the school. They build hostels in the school. We have a lot of land of which they are not using it, and they are in vain.
I know some of the SRC presidents were trying to do something about it, but then, so if the government is going to like intervene there, I think the government should try talking to maybe the university like management and the dean, so that the dean can also talk to the hostels like owners to reduce the prices, because they reduce the prices of they increase the prices because of like the dollar rates. So since the dollar rate is okay for the moment, I think they should reduce the price.
And but I think so far as it's a government institution, the government can actually come in for the students, speak to the school authorities, and let them know that okay, this should be the threshold for them to go in for the accommodation. Like let me talk for the accommodation. The private accommodations, that's most of the students are in the private accommodations. That with that one, to the schools can actually the government can actually come in and put some threshold on the these people that owns the private accommodation. They will actually agree, because if they don't agree and the government decide that the students will not maybe probably rent or go for those hostels, it will actually affect them. They will listen, or maybe it's the government owns the is in charge, is the authority of the country. So what he says, when a little bit of the dialogue is taken, I'm sure the people to agree to maybe reduce the private hostels.
Ban private hostels per se, because private hostels is the fees not the GFA offense or more residents for now is pertaining to offense or more point of view.
Van Velasechi, a hostel manager at the university, explains how the rent increment is affecting students and businesses in the area.
Some of the students, when they come and you tell them the price of the rooms or the space available, some of them tend to put on a certain facial expression that shows that they are not actually into it or something. You get it? So it has really affected, because as of last year, I had many people coming in at our hostel, but then when they come in, they tend to leave and they don't come again because of the prices. And we try to convince them that the price upsurging up is not something that is with us. It has been the state of the economy, which is actually having ripple effect in all areas of life.
He explains the circumstances surrounding the high cost of rent in the area.
A few weeks back, we had the dollar upsurging, going high. But on some notes, we realized that it had reduced. But currently, before even the students came in, we have also seen that the dollar has increased. All right. So one factor that I would say it has caused the increase in our renting system is because of the dollar rate going up high, and now the city is now depreciating. Please, I get it. So that is one point, because of the dollar rate, how it is increasing, and it's really affecting us so much, and because of how it's affecting our economy. And point number two that I would add on top of this particular question is that maintenance. You see, you guys, you students, when the students do come in, I don't know, maybe just sometimes you can't even think of it, because you enter some of the rooms and you see the way they have messed up the place. Recently, I went to one room, two in a room at my hostel. When I got there, I could see that there was a fault with the plumbing system. And you know what? The student had not reported the issue earlier when it came up. So it was later on that we realized that no, something was going on there because we saw some signs on the walls.
Mr. Sechi calls on government to institute measures towards ensuring that hostel owners come out with similar prices as others are charging beyond the expected price.
Mine, for instance, we provide our facilities on an average basis. But you see, you hear of some hostels and they cost very high. Some hostels cost very, very high. I'm not trying to, badmouth other hostels. But then what I want to say is that recently I heard of a hostel for 2 people in a room and it was costing around 20,000. Look at this, 20,000 for students who are not working, who are in the learning field and education field. People that we are assuming possibly they would go to come and fill up our industries and our businesses. Now we give them facilities at higher rates. Meanwhile, they are not working. You get it. So I believe if the government should do something about our renting systems, as in maybe trying to help so that we have a certain formula that we use to charge people on that.
The Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye, announced last month of government's plan towards making rent easy and accessible to Ghanaians, particularly young people. If this initiative is not implemented immediately, many young people will continue to wallow in serious deprivation. Reporting for Orange FM's Community Lens, I am Bernardo Pogunti, K.N.U.S.T.